Hello and welcome to yet another portable audio review, and as usual I'm making this video to distract myself from the war. And today I want to take an opportunity and tell you about HiBy FC5. Really interesting small portable digital to analog converter with headphone amplifier. I'm sure that HiBy don't need any introduction. They are a really famous company. You know their history. They started as software developers, but later they released a huge lineup of different hardware solutions for portable music lovers. I reviewed many of their gear and they always have their style. And here they decided to utilize ESS chipset to the maximum. They're using 9281 as digital to analog converter, and amplifier chips also developed by ESS, so a really good combination. It delivers 125 milliwatts for 32 ohms load per channel. Not super powerful, but taking into account that usually such gadgets are used with in-ear monitors or sensitive headphones, of course it's more than enough. It has balanced output, supports DSD 128, and of course it supports MQA. Price is $140 now on the official site, and I will add a link to the description, so let's have a closer look. Package is small, probably to highlight that device is also pretty compact, looks nice, interesting gradient on the letters, but nothing super fancy. But I'm sure that such devices doesn't need like huge wooden box or something like that. Inside we are getting digital to analog converter itself, warranty card, and set of cables. So USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable to use it with the smartphone as a transport, regular Type-A to Type-C to use with smartphone or laptop or something like else, and of course an adapter for the Pentacon balanced output. In terms of design, it looks fairly minimalistic, but at the same time pretty nice. Good combination of black metal and glass on the front panel, and rear panel is just metal with models and company's names, so it's pretty lightweight, feels really well built. Usage is absolutely simple, of course, it's like totally common device, so you connect cable to your transport smartphone or something like that, and you connect your earphones or headphones to this output, and that's it. It's all you need to work. And good touch, they added volume control buttons on the side. Many digital to analog converters lacking that, and that's a nice feature to have because you can change volume without looking, and it's a pretty good thing to have. Of course, it consumes power from your smartphone or tablet or whatever you will use to connect it, but actually in terms of power consumption it's pretty modest. It's not as power hungry as, let's say, Fuse KA3 for example. To summarize this part, as you can see, it's nicely built, well packaged, and you're getting all basic accessories you'll need. Of course, some of audiophiles will need lightning to USB Type-C cable, and HiBy offers such as a bundle with this digital to analog converter, or you can get any third-party cable. There are a lot of now available. And of course about the sound, this time I decided to build small improvised setup. Unfortunately I don't have my HiBy players with me now, but I will use iBasso DX240. It's pretty good as a digital transport. Of course, vast majority of dongle users will use them with smartphone or something like that, so I want to highlight that I'm using player just for illustration purposes. In real life, of course, you don't need a player because player actually sounds better than this digital to analog converter. Not by a huge margin, but anyway. And of course IMR that I hope that I will review them maybe next one or really soon. In terms of sound, actually HiBy managed to achieve a really good tuning. It's technical, it's natural, almost uncolored, but at the same time with slightly boosted dynamics, and that gives a really pleasant sense of forwardness in terms of sound. But at the same time it's not overdone, so it's just like additional spice. It's not stealing the neutrality, and definitely I won't call it really colored. Forgot to mention that here you'll see small LED indicator that changes colors depending on the signal resolution. Of course, how could you know that MQA is working if you don't see purple light? And low frequencies are controlled really well. They are deep, impactful. They have slightly highlighted punch, no additional weight, but punch is just a bit highlighted, so a nice sense of presence, good kicks, and sounds really well with both acoustic instruments and electronic music. Of course, if you used to some warmer or weightier sound sources, it won't be your choice, but my opinion is that it's always better to get something more or less natural and then alter the sound with earphones to whatever you like. But of course it's not like some kind of rule, it's just my opinion. And as an example, Louis Armstrong, Rock My Soul. Nice track with interesting bass lines that sometimes goes pretty deep. Of course, it's not highlighted like in modern music. That time they managed to create good tunes without super powerful bass. But still pretty nice and pleasant, and this tiny digital tonal converter renders it really well. Mids are interesting, fun, with slightly highlighted emotions, but not too much and not overdone. Dynamics is close to perfection, and that gives a pleasant sense of forwardness. If you like, for example, heavy music, it slightly highlights that aggressiveness, slightly boosting guitars, but not too much, not overdoing that, and definitely not going into sibilance, into screaming or something like that. I mean screaming record. Of course, if screaming vocal is present, it will be played nicely. Imaginary stage is also pretty good, noticeably above average in width, slightly above average in depth, so it's slightly wider than deeper, but for this price it's pretty big, spacious, and rendered nicely. It's not super critical for the quality of records, but thanks to a good resolution, definitely some proper mastered and recorded material will be a plus for it. And as an example, I've got one of my favorite bands, probably my favorite album from this band and one of the most favorite tracks. It's Pain of Salvation, Angels of Broken Things. Probably it can be called maybe not ballad, but not aggressive track from this album, but it has that interesting sense of tension, and you like waiting for all the track when it will explode to some heavy guitars, but it doesn't happen. It's just a vocal of Gildenlove that holds you, all that emotions and the minimalistic musical accompaniment, so it's really interesting and really good. Even if you don't like heavy music, I recommend this track to you. I think you can enjoy it. And this digital tonal converter actually plays it pretty well with all necessary emotions, and thanks to its forward nature, it's highlighting the emotions on the vocal. And the treble is just neat, accurate, with proper attacks and decays, nice resolution, no attempts to hide it or to boost, so absolutely like what's in, that's out. Of course, it's lacking a bit overtone saturation comparing to more expensive device, and layering is really basic, but for this price tier, of course, it's not an issue, it's just what you can expect in this price range. But basic overtones plays nicely, airiness is present, and you definitely can enjoy enjoy well recorded tracks. You can enjoy that spaciousness that properly rendered treble gives. And as an example, it's Snarky Puppy featuring Chris Turner and the track Liquid Love. Lot of interesting vocal, interesting instrumental part. Lot of things goes to the treble area, so of course you need something much more expensive than this digital tonal converter to unveil full potential of this track, but still it sounds pretty pleasant and enjoyable. In terms of pairing, probably the most important thing, of course, is black background, and this digital tonal converter delivers it really great, even with sensitive in-ear monitors, almost zero background noise, and no issues with hum or something like that. And of course, it's not created for the power-hungry headphones, but sensitive full-size headphones it can also drive pretty okay. And speaking about the conversions, to be honest, can't recall many models right now. Of course, it's a step forward with compared to iBus DC models and Shenling, for example. Not a huge, but it's noticeably better in terms of control and so on. Comparing with, let's say, FIO KA3, it's slightly more natural and better refined. And comparing with HiBy's own FC3, for example, you'll get better resolution, better control, more tight and impactful sound. There are a lot of other digital tonal converters, but I can recall them instantly. But to summarize, I can say that FC5 is a really good way of getting nice sound if you want to use it with your smartphone or laptop or something like that. Thank you for your attention, thank you for listening, and have a great day.